Welcome to Life and DNA with Amanda Renee. I'm so glad you joined me today. Let's get started. So, today, I know I told everyone last week, and I wasn't thinking when I recorded that, of what Thursday is. So that's why I'm posting on Tuesday this week. And there won't be one Thursday for Thanksgiving because everyone will be much too busy to be listening to my little podcast or anyone's podcast probably. And so yeah, I will post it tomorrow. Well, I'm recording Monday, so I'll post it on Tuesday. And next week, and then all through December, it'll just be Thursday. But yeah, I wasn't thinking about that when I said that last week. So today I just want to talk about a few different things. Thanksgiving, like I said, is this week. And I've been trying to focus on being more thankful. I think that in me trying to let go of the anger and bitterness I had been struggling with for the past 2 or 3 years, being thankful and actually stopping to be grateful for everything that God's given me has really helped all of that to leave. You know, that and the therapy of getting to talk on this podcast. That's been nice. So, yeah. Trying to be thankful and trying to forgive. And someone reminded me not long ago, we forgive others not necessarily for them. We forgive others for us. Because if we hold on to bitterness and resentment, then all that does is hurt us. It makes us a miserable person to be around, and it makes us miserable in ourselves and in our thoughts. And also, it can make you sick. You know, the Bible says that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. And if you're thinking bitter, angry thoughts all the time, you are going to be a bitter, angry person all the time. And that's not the mother I want to be. That's not the wife I want to be. That's not, the preschool, Sunday school teacher that I want to be. That's not the sister I want to be. So I'm trying to focus on the good things and let go of the bad. And I got to kind of have a little chance to put that in practice last night. We had church yesterday morning, and I got to come home and have a little bit of a nap. And then we had a Christian concert that several of the local churches, including our church, was putting on in our small town. And there actually was a lot of people there. I was really impressed with our town and our churches. I think they said there were 11 churches represented. And if you've ever gone to church or worked in a church, you know that what a miracle that is, especially for a small town where some churches will feel competitive with others. Ours isn't like that. We saw that when we merged with another church of the same denomination, and we merged into one church in 2 locations, and we all travel back and forth and teach and preach at both locations, and that's gone really wonderfully. And even the director for our state had said that, I've seen churches split, but I've never seen them merge. And so our pastor and our youth pastor and our kids pastor, they're all working really hard with several other pastors in the community to just bring them all together. Not everyone is going to be everyone else's cup of tea. Like, there's people that watch this podcast and are like, don't really care for her, and that's fine. And then there are others that you might like me, and I appreciate you. So the same with church, one preacher might not preach in the style you like, or the praise and worship. And honestly, the praise and worship is sometimes more in people's opinions. They'll go to a church with praise and worship that they like, and maybe a preacher they're kind of so about because they like the praise and worship. It's crazy, but that's kind of how it is. And so it was really nice to see everyone come together. And the opening act was, what was his name? I'll have to look at it because I don't want to get it wrong. And he was really good. Cliff Preston. And he was really good. And my son was so cute. It was my son's first concert. He's 9. And he saw the guy sitting over, because we have a pretty small town. And even though there were a lot of people there, it was pretty intimate. And there was just a little kind of pavilion set up, and he was sitting over there. And my son noticed him and asked if I had a pen, and he wanted him to sign his hat. And the guy took him and was like, come on. He was going to try and find a Sharpie, and took him around back to where the booths were and stuff, and signed his hat for him. And then the next artist was Stars Go Dim. And I knew I'd heard that name, but I couldn't tell you what he sang. It used to be a band. Now it's down to one guy. And oh my gosh, this guy can sing. He was awesome. Like, he has kind of a higher pitched voice. And since I hadn't Googled his music before we got there, I wasn't kind of prepared for it. And he got up to sing, and he belted out the first notes. I think it's the song You Are Loved by Stars Go Dim. And he belted out the first part, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like, at first it took me back because his voice was so high pitched, but he was amazing. And he put on a good show. And so my daughter went and got his autograph and a picture with him. And then my son got a picture with Cliff Preston also. Maybe I'll post those on my Instagram because they were so cute. They were so excited. I got them each a t-shirt there too, so that was fun. Just because I know when my husband and I go to concerts, that's our big thing, is to get a t-shirt from, our favorite band that played that night, or one we don't have a t-shirt for. So that was fun. And then the final act was Consumed by Fire, and they were really good too. It was 3 brothers. They had a couple of musicians with them, but it was 3 brothers, and they were really good. And my daughter got a picture with one of the brothers, so that was fun. But during the concert, I don't know, just a lot of the preaching in between, and then the guys from the bands talking, and we sang some, at the end they sang some old 90s like praise and worship song. And if you went to church in the 90s, you will know what I'm talking about. And it took me back. One song made me cry, and I didn't even know why it was making me cry. I just remember singing it, I think probably during a hard time in my teenage years, early 20s. That was about the time my parents were going through divorce and all that. So that's probably why. But anyway, it was really nice, and it was a nice moment just with God. And I hadn't had a moment like that in a really long time. I teach, like I've said, I teach the preschool in my church, so I'm not in church services except for like Christmas and maybe one other time a year. Otherwise, I'm teaching. I'm not getting the praise and worship and the preaching. And so it was really nice. I needed it. But my brother was there, the older one. He likes concerts too. You're welcome. I instilled that in him because I used to play music for him all the time when he was little. But we had kind of had a falling out when all that happened with my mom. He decided to step in and involve himself and message me and let me know it isn't just mom that feels that way, it's them too. They're all four together in it. And again, for me, that goes back to, well, he's, one of her flying monkeys, just trying to protect her, protect the narrative, again, with the family cult dynamic, and, you have to protect the narrative and protect the one that's in charge. And I have a little bit of sympathy there, although it hurt when he, confronted me that way. I mean, he just messaged me, but it was, I don't know. I'm not big on confrontation anyway. It wasn't like horrible, but it was disrespectful, I guess. I'm 19 years older than him. So it was, and I, practically was his caregiver for the first several years of his life, and used to be very close to them until my mom started making everyone distance from us girls, where it was the four of them and they just distanced from us. Till now she won't act like that's the way she wants it, but it was very clear a few years ago that that's the way she wants it. She wants just the four of them, and she only wants to see us when she wants to see us, and most of the time she just wants the four of them. And so it felt very disrespectful when he interjected himself, but I'm not one to hold a grudge. I don't like it. I don't like how it makes me feel. I don't like holding on to it. He hasn't been disrespectful to me in person or even in messages since then. He's even sent me some books that he had heard I wanted to read, and he had 2 sets of them. He sent me those, and he came and saw us at the concert and stuff. I just don't want to be mad at him anymore. I don't want to hold on to that anymore. And I'm praying my husband can let go of it too. He got really upset, and I understand that, being protective of your wife, and someone's disrespectful to your wife and you're not gonna like that. I get that, and made me feel loved at first. Now I'm just like, okay, can we move on from this, because I'm just over it. And he has his own reasons to be mad at my mom and them, but I just don't want to hold anything against my brothers anymore. I totally understand where they are, because I was in that position of being a flying monkey, my entire life, because I didn't know what narcissism was. I didn't know what she was at that time. I didn't know, I didn't really even understand what she was doing. And so I don't want to hold that against them, because I know they don't see it either, and they don't understand. And even though it sucks and we don't get to be close anymore or anything, but I just don't want to be mad anymore. I'm tired of being mad at people. And, I've been forgiven for worse things than being rude to somebody or disrespectful to somebody. So I'm ready to forgive and move on. And so it was nice to see him and hug him, kind of having that in the back of my mind. And then that last night just kind of solidified that for me. So that was nice. The other thing I wanted to talk about, because last time I know I talked about my experience going carnivore. My husband is still teasing me about my 4 whole days of going carnivore. I was just desperate to try something, desperate for, I don't know, get something started with trying to be healthier, because, I don't know, not doing anything isn't doing anything, if that makes sense. So I had to get blood work done this past week, and I already got my results the other day, And I haven't gotten to have my appointment and talk to my doctor about them yet. But there were a couple of things that were concerning that I'm curious to talk to her about. But my appointment's not till like the first whole week in December. So I've got to wait a few weeks for that. But I'm going to do some research and be asking her about some things. But my TPO antibodies were up, like quite a bit up. And she's already upped my thyroid medication like twice this year. So I'm curious to know why my antibodies are going up. And I'm hoping it's not, I wouldn't think 4 days of changing how I eat would mess with that much. Maybe it's just the stress in my life. I'm not sure. I don't know what makes your antibodies go up, but they went up. My TSH was up instead of down. She's trying to get it down to a 1. And it was like 2.5, or no, 2.3, something like that. Well, it's up now. It's closer to 3. And then when we checked my iron, my binding capacity was really low. So I'm thinking I got some stuff that I need to either quit taking or start taking or change up. And I'm ready to get that done. I want to talk to her about getting off of the hormone pill to start having a monthly cycle again, because I'm wondering if that's messing with my iron in a negative way, and maybe get on like bioidentical hormones if insurance can cover that. I'm hoping that it will, because I've been listening to, like I mentioned last week, I used to follow the Trim Healthy Mama ladies and that way of eating. And so I'm looking into doing that again slowly. I'm not going to go, all out. I still have a lot of their supplies and stuff from the last time that I did it. So I should be able to start on it. No problem. It's just, you have to cut out sugar, which isn't a big deal for me. I don't eat a lot of sugar. It's the hidden sugars you have to watch out for. And that's where I get tripped up. I hate looking at labels, but I've done this way of eating before, and I think it'll be easy to slip back into. Mostly because I know kind of what to eat and what to stay away from. And yeah, I'm just ready. And then you have to stay off of white flour. And that is always my trip up. But I do remember from last time, if I would let myself have a cheat day, that's when I would start losing weight. If I would eat good and eat on plan, 6 days a week, 5 days a week, and then have 1 or 2 cheat meals on the weekend, then my body would release excess weight, which typically at first it's all water weight, but that's how my body seems to do it, at least at first, until I get completely weaned off of the white flour, which with Hashimoto's and thyroid problems I need to do anyway. So this is the easiest plan for me to follow, and so I'm going to try doing that. So anyway, I was listening to their podcasts recently so that I can kind of get myself back in that mindset. And I'm always, when I do my makeup or the dishes or cooking, that's when I listen to whoever I listen to. So I've been listening to those, and they were really talking about their big thing is asking yourself, where's your protein? With every meal, and typically like any bigger snacks even, you want to eat protein, because protein kind of anchors everything. But they were saying that we need to make sure we get enough protein, especially women, and especially over the age of 35, which I am. So I need to make sure I'm getting enough protein. And that's always been hard for me. That's one of the reasons I'm kind of thankful that I went ahead and did tried the carnivore diet just to get myself to eat more meat. I tried a few more meats, and I think that's going to help me, because I typically shy away from a lot of meat, and I need to quit doing that. And and maybe I'll take some more notes after listening to them next time and talk about this in more depth, but protein and the amino acids in protein are so important for women, because as you get older and your hormones change, then you lose muscle mass. And when you lose muscle mass, that's when your mortality rate it's not good. That's why, you see old ladies, they break a hip and they don't last very long. And it's because they didn't have enough muscle to protect themselves and to help themselves heal. And they were saying that, and making sure your hormones are balanced, like with bioidentical hormones. And so I'm going to be talking to my doctor about that, as well as the thyroid medication. So yeah, they have a couple of products to help with making sure you get enough amino acids. So I might be getting one of those when it's back in stock, because apparently it's pretty popular, so they were out of stock. But yeah, so the questions I'm going to ask my doctor are about the hormones, if I need to quit taking that one hormone pill, and if I can possibly get on the bioidentical ones. And one of the ladies on THM said that she takes a T3 pill on top of her regular MP thyroid. And I didn't even know they had that. And she says it helps her with energy. So I'm going to ask my doctor about that too, because I definitely need more energy. And that was the other thing they said, to do strength training. So I'm going to try to make sure I start working out. I already had some of the resistance bands and stuff, and I have free weights. I'm going to have to start back down where I was when I first started lifting, though, so that I don't hurt myself, and build back up to where I was, because it's been a few months since I've done it consistently, and I don't want to hurt myself, because then that just sets me back more. So I'm going to try to do that. And I still have the workouts that the THM ladies did, so I'm going to try doing that, because they said it builds your core, and building your core helps center you when you're going to lift weights, so that you don't injure yourself or pull something. So I'm going to attempt to make myself do that until I like it and get used to it and can keep doing it. So I got really good and consistent at working out for a while. It's always just if I get sick or too tired, then I can't do it. And then when I don't do it for so long, then it's really hard to get started again. So I really would love to be able to just stick with something for once. That would be awesome. And so I'm hoping I can keep myself accountable. And yeah, it would be nice to have an accountability partner, but I don't have anybody like that really in my life. I would ask my husband, but then I wouldn't take it well if he criticized me about it. That would be too personal. Maybe my kids, they're good at that. I tend to take that personally too, but not as personally as I would if my husband was telling me to work out. So maybe I need to do that. But anyway, so that's where I am as far as the Hashimoto's goes right now. I'm really hoping I can get my medications figured out and my numbers figured out, so I can just get where I need to be. And hopefully changing how I eat is going to help that. That's what everyone says should help it. So I guess we'll see. I'm hoping that it does. I did not get to work on anything Ancestry this past week. We've been trying really hard to get us getting the house clean so we could put the Christmas tree up, and we got our Christmas tree decorated. And now all the family's coming in. My husband's sister might be coming and staying with us hopefully this weekend. And so I'm going to be so busy cleaning that I did not get to research anything on my family. And I'm hoping to get to do that soon. The kids and I are taking school off all of December. And so I'm hoping that I get to do a little bit of that on top of some much needed deep cleaning in the house before Christmas gets here. So maybe I'll have something to share about that coming up soon. I hope so. And I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving holiday if you celebrate that. I'm hoping I will. I'll get to go eat some really good food 2 nights in a row out at my aunt and uncle's house and see all of my sisters on Wednesday. There are 4 of us, and we're all going to get to be together Wednesday night, and then I will see 2 of them on Thanksgiving, along with my aunts and uncles. And I don't think they're going to get my grandma out of her retirement home. She has dementia, and so it's kind of hard on her if they take her out. So I'm hoping we can all go visit her while everyone's down and maybe get a picture together. Because I know some of my cousins live a few hours away, so they don't get to come and see her very often. So it'd be nice to get a picture with everybody again. But I don't know. There's a stupid football game the day after Thanksgiving that's making everyone leave a day early, and it's annoying. But it's taking everyone away too early for stupid football. But priorities, I guess. But I have a cousin coming up from Texas that he's the cousin that actually introduced my husband and I. It was my husband's best friend. So we are going to get to see him, and I'm really excited about that. Thank you for joining me today on Life and DNA with Amanda Renee. I'll talk to you guys next Thursday and probably give you a rundown of Thanksgiving and what else is going on in my life. And hopefully any research I've done on Ancestry. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.